Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's a Lone Wolf Trucker coming back at you with another video. And this video is titled TMC Almost Fired Me for This, right? So I'm going to tell you guys a little story. And this story is about my first week at TMC. And you got to understand this from my perspective, right? What's going on through my mind during my first week solo, I should say, as a TMC driver. Right. So what's going through my mind as I, get ready to show you guys these pictures and tell you the story about my quote unquote hell week, as I like to call it, which is my first week solo at TMC. And, if you're not familiar how it works with TMC, you go through your orientation, for 2 weeks, then you go out with your driver trainer for 5 weeks, then you come back, you test out. Usually for me, well, for me, it was on a Monday, right? So I finished with my driver trainer over the weekend. I got to stop back at the house real quick. And then I was back at TMC in South Carolina to test out on Monday morning, bright and early. So I get the keys to my truck, right? That starts hell week once you get those keys to your truck, right? So it's a big accomplishment. You get your keys, you're a solo driver, you're all excited. You go get your keys, you get your truck, you do your inspection, all that stuff, get your securement, get your trailer, and you wait to get dispatched, right? So for me, I actually got dispatched on Tuesday, right? My first load, I was, taking a empty trailer, dropping it off, and picking up a preloaded trailer of building materials to get delivered from South Carolina down to Florida. And I was actually delivering to it was a very high-end neighborhood, and there was a high-end home being built. And I'm delivering to a residential area, right? Now you got a newbie driver, first week solo in the truck. And here I am having to go into a tight-ass residential area. Now, I must say, my first week, hell week, I was questioning my life choices, right? Because I was really, really fucking some shit up. Excuse my French. But I thought for sure TMC was going to fire me for this. They were just going to cut their losses short and say, hey, this guy is no good. He's already, messing shit up his first week solo on the job. So we about to let his ass go and cut our losses early, right? So I'm gonna jump into the photos and I'll talk about this further as we go along. So let me go ahead and pull up, let me share my screen real quick, and we'll go through these videos. And they're not gonna be, well, let me kind of jump around a little bit and get in order. So hold on a second. All right, so as we're looking at this video right here, this video that I'm showing you is where I actually bent my smokestack. So this was the first incident that happened to me. So like I said, my first load I delivered into a residential area. It was really, really tight, high-end home, high-end area. And I'm going down this residential road, right? Had no problems getting to my delivery. There were no trees, low-hanging trees on the way in, right? So I came down this tight-ass road, actually had to back up a side street and turn my truck around because I couldn't even make it down into this windy road that led to where the property was being built. So they actually had to send a guy out there with the forklift boom to unload me from the street. So once they got me unloaded and got everything off my flatbed, obviously I sent in my empty call. I couldn't stay where I was because, the road was tight. There was no room for any cars to park on the side. There was just, a lane going this way and a lane going that way. And I was actually, had my hazards on because people going the same way that I was facing had to actually go in the other lane to get around me to go down the road. So once I made this delivery, I'm heading back out the same way that I came in. And on the side that I'm leaving, there's low hanging trees and branches, right? I don't know what kind of trees they were, but these things were pretty solid because the first thing I heard was my antenna, my CB antennas hitting, the branches or the limbs or what have you. And I said, man, this is tight now. And as soon as I got those words, I'm thinking that in my head, right? I don't know if I said that out loud to myself or not, but as soon as I thought about that, bam! I mean, goddamn, I thought that, a bomb or something went off. I got struck by lightning, something. In Florida, they have these, spontaneous thunderstorms, but it was just a loud kind of explosion, and immediately I hit the brakes, I stopped. I still didn't even figure out what the hell's going on. I get out my truck and look, and I got this big ass branch laying on my flatbed, right? Now, hindsight, I should have strapped that thing down and took it off, and delivered it somewhere as my second load. But I had this big ass branch tree limb laying on my flatbed from where my smokestack hit that limb and bent my smokestack, as you guys can see in this picture. Here's one angle. Here's another angle where you see the top of it that's bent here. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but the smokestack is bent back towards the sleeper, and it's also bent, to the side. It's not actually touching the sleeper, but it's very close. Let's look at another picture here. You can see up top where it's bent. Right here, and you see my CB antenna is higher than the stack, so that's what was an indication to me. If I had a little more experience at the time, I would know, hey, if this thing is hitting something, I'm getting close to my stack. So my stacks are 12 feet 6 inches, and I should know once this thing starts hitting something, I need to move back over to the other side so I don't cause this situation that I found myself winding up in. So I bent the stack here. Let me see if I got another picture. This one, not really a good one. You can't really tell, but you can see where it's bent back towards where the sleeper is. It didn't actually touch, but it came real close. I think that's all I have of that one, and I'll get back to these other ones in a second. So that was the first incident that I had. Like I said, I tested out on Monday, got my truck, trailer, inspection, all that. Slept in my truck the first night, Monday night. Got dispatched Tuesday morning, and wound up picking up this load going down to Florida. So took this straight down to Florida, got this load off, and had that incident happen, right? I bent the stack to my truck, and it wasn't really a big deal. I mean, obviously my truck's been fixed since then. I brought it into the shop, and they were able to get my smokestacks realigned. But what's going through my mind at the time, like I said, I'm taking you guys back in my timeline to when this happened and what's going through my head. And I'm like, man, TMC is about to fire me for this. I already, messed their truck up, and I bent the smokestack, and if I'm not gonna get fired, they're definitely gonna give me a warning that I should not be, I should tread lightly because I'm about to be out the door. So that was incident number one, and I should have had these in order, but I apologize, guys. Let me go back to incident number 2 of Hell Week, right? Like I said, these happened back to back. So here I am bending a stack, dropping off a load, right? Now I left from here, dropping off this load to my next load where I'm going to show you where I'm actually picking up a preloaded trailer from the Lowe's DC, which is not too far down the road. I don't remember how many miles it was, but I was under 150 mile bounce to this next location. So let's kind of go back here. Sorry, I got to skip back. But here we go. Incident number 2 of Hell Week, right? 7438 is the trailer. What happened in this situation, obviously you guys can see I dropped the trailer, right? And the only thing that saved me from fully dropping this trailer on the ground and yanking my airlines completely out of either the tractor, trailer, or both was the trailer got caught, the kingpin got caught onto the frame rail of my tractor. And let me see if I can't get a better picture of that. You guys can see trailer's completely off the fifth wheel right here. It's leaning to the side because I was coming out this parking spot right here. I did a wide turn and coming out of here and made the right here. And as I'm pulling out, the trailer is sliding off the tractor. Let's see. All right, here's a better picture of the trailer here. If you guys can see the kingpin, it actually got caught onto my frame rail as it slid off the fifth wheel and got caught onto the tractor. So that's the only thing that actually saved it from just hitting the ground. Let me see if I got another photo in here. Yeah, and here's another angle of it. So I got to give a shout out to, I don't remember the guy's name. He was an owner out with TMC. As you guys can see here, it's late at night. And he happened to be rolling through the Lowe's DC and came out and helped me out because I actually had sent in a macro, you know, an SOS, letting them know that, hey, I need some help. You know, I dropped this trailer and I don't know how to get this damn thing back up, right? Because I tried to back up, I couldn't back up. It was getting caught on the fifth wheel. I couldn't back up into it and I couldn't pull forward because it's stuck on the frame, right? So because it was stuck on the frame, I couldn't even crank this thing back up because it wasn't going up because, you know, it's trying to lift up the tractor too. So shout out to that TMC owner op. I don't remember his name or his truck number that helped me out in this sticky situation that I found myself in. Now, you guys don't know, but I actually got to this location. As you can see here, let's take a look at this photo, right? It's daytime here, right? So I get to this location right after I bent my stack. It was actually in the afternoon. It was, I mean, the mid-afternoon. It was hot as shit out. We're in Florida, right? This is early fall, but it's still hot as shit out, right? Because I was sweating my balls off out there. It was like 90-something degrees, 95 degrees or whatever it was that day. And it was really, really hot. I wasn't used to that type of heat and working in those conditions. So I had a lot of water, I had a lot of Gatorade, but I was just exhausted. So what I did, I actually climbed back in the sleeper, took me a nap for about 2 hours, right? Got up and it had already, you know, in the fall time, it starts getting dark a little bit early. So I don't remember exactly what time this was, but you guys can see, sun's already gone, it's nighttime. And, you know, I'm getting ready to head out to get to my delivery, which is a Lowe's store. I forget, maybe 200 miles down the road or what have you. That wasn't a very far run at all. But here I am, you know, pulling out and dropping this trailer. So that was incident number 2. Again, shout outs to that owner op. Maybe he'll get to see this video one day and be like, hey, I know that guy. I know that lone wolf trucker. I remember him his first week in Hell Week, and he dropped this trailer and I had to help his silly ass get that thing back on the truck. But that's what happened to me as far as my second incident goes. And let's take a look at number 3 of Hell Week. So here we are, incident number 3 of Hell Week. As you guys could see, if you can't tell, I'm stuck, right? Now, what happened in this situation is I'm coming in, you know, trying to get a reset. I think I had less than 30 minutes on my clock. You know, I'm brand new, so my clock's red. It's been red for like 30 minutes already, and I'm stressed out, right? Trying to find parking, can't find parking, and wind up pulling into this rest area. The small rest area, I think I was coming out of South Carolina into North Carolina, northbound on 85. And pulled into this rest area that has, you know, it's very limited as far as semi and trailer parking at this location. So when I pull in and there was actually a truck parked. His nose was right at this wrong way sign right here. It's funny, if you look on the other side of the highway, you can see another flatbed. He looks like he's broke down with his engine hood up. But I pulled in late at night. It's dark out. I can't really see shit. I'm thinking when I pull onto this this dirt that it's compacted, that it's hard, kind of gravel type dirt. So I'm not thinking anything of it, right? I pull up, and as you can see, all of my driver's side wheels are pretty much in this soft dirt. And you can't see it on the other side, but all the passenger side tires are on the concrete, right? So I get up in the morning and, get out to do my pre-trip. And, first thing I notice is I'm stepping out of the truck right here. Usually got to step down a little bit, right? I didn't have to step nowhere. It literally just, it was almost flush. Let me see if we get another picture here. You can see it's almost flush where I stepped out. So I'm like, man, this don't seem right. Usually I have to step down when I get off my truck, but I'm just stepping straight onto the dirt right here. So immediately I knew before I even started my pre-trip that I may have a situation here. So, and these are a couple more pictures, but as I talk through this, I realized that from the time that I parked that night, the time I woke up in the morning, the truck actually sunk itself down into the soft ground. And I don't know if you guys see on the back of here, I actually have a really, really heavy load. This is landscaping materials, like landscaping rocks and boulders and stuff like that. The truck is real heavy, and it actually sunk down. As you can see, I'm a resourceful type person, so I got out my resources and I started trying to dig myself out of this sticky situation. Ultimately, I was able to get myself out of there, right? So if you guys don't know, TMC trucks, I'm pretty sure all of them have differential locks on them, so you can lock up the front wheels to where they'll actually give you some traction. So that's what I had to do in that situation. I got my drive tires giving me traction, and the front giving me traction, and the dunnage and stuff that I used to get up under the tires actually helped get me out of there. One of these pictures right here, I did try to use my coil mats to give me some traction, but those didn't work. As you can see, tires just kept spinning. But once I took those out and used my coil racks in place of those, I was able to get some traction on this soft dirt and pull myself out of there. Now, once I pulled myself out of this situation, I don't have those pictures, but there's a long line of just dirt tire tracks, right? Leading straight to, down the rest stop where I parked over in the trailer parking, right? So what happened, I'm sitting there parked, right? And I forget what I was doing, but I guess I was just trying to recuperate and think about what just happened and how lucky I was to get myself out of that situation without having to call TMC and say, hey, send me a record or something. I need some help getting out of here. That's something I definitely did not want to do. But as I'm sitting there, going over and contemplating what just happened, there's a DOT that pulls in, sees this mess, right? Let me go back to the front picture here. Because what this is actually a flower bed, what I come to find out after the fact, because the DOT, he pulls up and man, he's hot. He's a little bit pissed off because apparently trucks are doing this all the time, pulling off into the dirt and getting stuck and, causing a bunch of problems or whatever. So he follows a trail of tire tracks, muddy tire tracks over to the parking space where I am. And he's banging on my truck and he's pissed off and he's like, what the hell, man? What the hell? And I'm looking at him like, hey, man, I admit it. You got me, my hands are dirty. My wheels are dirty. Right. So I admitted to, hey, yeah, that was me. Hey, I pulled in late at night. I didn't know that I was on soft ground. I thought I was on compacted gravel or compacted dirt and didn't realize until I woke up in the morning that I had sunk down into your flower bed, as you now tell me, right? So he started off, he was very, kind of pissed off and irate, but I fessed up and owned up to the incident. So he kind of toned himself down and, we talked for a bit and, kind of no harm, no foul. They were planting stuff here anyway. So I've already pre-dug the holes for them, so to speak. So after all in all, he wasn't too mad after the fact. We had a little conversation, and then I was on my way. But initially, he wanted to, get this thing written up and call TMC and have TMC pay for it and all this. But we didn't get to that extent, right? He kind of cut me some slack when I fessed up to the incident. But how could I deny the incident? I mean, the trail led straight to my truck. So that was incident number 3 of Hell Week. That was pretty much it for Hell Week. Like I said, I was really, questioning my life choices, questioning what the hell am I doing out here in trucking, questioning what the hell am I, not only doing in trucking, but what the hell am I doing in flatbed? Why the hell am I doing this, right? Long story short, even after I questioned my life choices back then, I can still validate that I enjoy what I do. So I truly enjoy doing what I do, doing flatbed. I really wouldn't change anything. Do I have days where I'm like, man, this sucks? Of course I do, right? We all do, but we get through those and keep it moving. The second, Hell Week really wasn't too much hell compared to the first Hell Week with TMC. The second week was just trying to figure out securement, trying to just get in my flow, figure out how, to get in my groove to where I can, work efficiently and effectively. So really it was just strapping, tarping, and kind of learning those things that were the challenge for me, going into the second week. Because I had several experiences, as you guys can see in this photo, in these photos that kind of showed me and taught me, things very quickly when it comes to, being solo in your own truck. So I just wanted to share my experience with you guys, go over this story a little, real quick, or not so quick. This video is probably getting a little bit lengthy, but just kind of give you some perspective, if you're coming to TMC, coming to trucking, or whatever you're doing in the trucking industry, that you're going to run into situations like this when you're new, right? You just don't know. And how are you going to learn without having the experience? Am I the first guy to hit my smokestacks on something that's, low, on a low clearance object? No. Am I the first guy to drop a trailer? The first driver to drop a trailer? No. Am I the first driver to get stuck, on the side of the road or bury themselves in some mud or some soft dirt? No. So I'm not the first one doing it. I'm surely not going to be the last. It's just experiences that you got to go through. Fortunately and unfortunately for me, all of that shit happened during Hell Week, my first week solo with TMC. I'm sure glad to hell, that week is over. The second week is over. But good thing is TMC does pay you a guaranteed minimum of $1,000 for those first 2 weeks. So even though I was fucking shit up, I was still getting paid a minimum of $1,000 a week. So, hats off to TMC. As you guys can see, I'm still with TMC to this day as I'm making this video, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you guys that are in orientation, coming to TMC, coming to trucking in general, you can kind of laugh at my experience or use my experience to kind of know what not to do in your own timeline as you move forward in your trucking journey. So that's all I got, guys. Just want to share that quick story with you. And this is a Lone Wolf Trucker signing out. Peace.